All right, SPY, we see that we have what looks like to be just a simple bear flag going, a bull flag going on right now. If we have this break above these highs, it looks to be a bull flag that can pop up to the upside. And I'll tell you why that's relevant, or the index is doing fine. Let's go to the QQQ. This one is still having some difficulty. We want this low of the day to hold and this 50 to hold, because if it gets below the 10, it definitely can continue to the downside. If we look at the week, if it closes down lower, actually, the most concern is that you then have a shooting star at the 10 on the weekly. So we still have to see, still has some proving to do going into tomorrow. We still have the lower highs in place for the QQQ. Now for the Russell, we still are in the box. We're at the bottom of the channel, which we're talking about, the weekly channel that we've talked about, that it got to it. Now it's breaking down below, but it's still below its 10-day moving average. Bearish MACD on the weekly, bearish MACD on the daily as well. The diamond is, again, it's holding above these prior levels that we can see right here. And we said about the inverse head and shoulders, or V bottom, if you want to call it that. And we see that we can then have, that flag formation like we talked about previously, going on with this as well. So here's the thing with the SPY that's kind of like, there's a little bit of if you want to call it divergence, is that Bank of America still needs to go somewhere. Goldman Sachs still needs to get somewhere. It is above its 50 and its 10, however, so that's good. Wells Fargo looks good. Citi was the one that didn't look that good as well. So there was a little bit of, I would love to see these really looking strong versus, just the indexes. But we had some names that broke down today that I had on yesterday's video. LinkedIn broke down, continued. You had Yelp. I got into both of these trades. Continued close at the low of the day. I trimmed some off just because of the report tomorrow. But I probably should have just held the runner. But it's been that kind of week and a half, 2 weeks, just choppy. So I just took some off. You got Netflix. It's holding. But if it can break the low of this day and come back and break this, it could definitely look weak. You have Pandora look extremely weak going into tomorrow. That's a huge volume on a bullish engulfing pattern that is engulfed basically 3 days, almost 3 days of action to the upside. I got Citrix as well that I got stopped out of the short this here, but I'm going to revisit this tomorrow as well because that one looks good for the short. Tesla still holding this area. Priceline still holding this area. Quite honestly, if it got above at least today's high and continue higher, if it could get above this 1276 area, that would be actually really good. But it still has to chew through that, but we'll see what happens in the morning. Google gave a huge, it went all the way up. So let's look at the intraday action. This is the hourly. Let's break it down to the 30-minute. You can see it went all the way up and came all the way back down. So we have to see what's going on here, because if we have a break of this low, and that was just the 2-for-1 split that you see right there. If you have a break of this low, it could definitely be something to get to the short side. And I'll say it, short side, because a lot of the names that have had momentum aren't really looking that strong now. They aren't looking, some stuff that I had yesterday as well to the long side was Hess. That did well. Qhu, I said, didn't look well, and it continued to the downside as well. Which one? Other one I had? I had Monster. I don't know. I didn't even look at that one, but that didn't do well. And I had Fire Eye yesterday, and that one got crushed as well. So it was, and then I had SGN as well. That one, I said it was the volume. I think the volume was pretty good, and it got crushed to the downside as well, under the 200. So those look decent. SanDisk looks like it could be flagging, and Questcore actually looks really good. That one might be looking to set up for some more upside potential. Apple, last but not least, Apple needs to show me something. It's giving a lower high. So let me move this maybe to there if you want to do it. So I don't like that, but let's say right here. That's better. We have 3 points. And it's getting below bullish MACD still, so I want to see where it goes. But intraday action, it did break below this low and didn't really flush down with a lot of strength. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If it gets above this high of basically 550, then 549, then it's back to the upside, breaking this trend. If we look at the weekly, you could see it coming together. So it needs to break above that. The volume is really light, quite honestly, so I want to see how this candle closes. But that's pretty much it for today. Trade them well. What else I had? Tesla, I think I said that, and then Solar City also doesn't look good as well. So we need to see what's going on, because the volume is increased to the downside with bearish MACD. But trade them well, keeping it up under 6 minutes. Take care.